Have you ever felt overwhelmed by the weight of your worries as though they control your every thought and action? What if there was a way to free your mind from the constant anxiety and find true peace? In this video, we're diving into the profound wisdom of C.H. Spurgeon, one of the greatest preachers in history, who believed that letting go of our worries and trusting in God is the key to peace. C.H. Spurgeon wasn't just a man of words. He lived through immense personal challenges, from health struggles to financial hardship. Yet, through it all, he never stopped preaching the power of trusting God in the face of adversity. He showed us that the more we cling to our worries, the more we weigh down our hearts. But when we surrender them to God, He offers us a peace that surpasses understanding. Stay tuned as we explore not only Spurgeon's timeless advice, but also practical ways you can apply these truths to your own life. By the end of this video, you'll understand how to release your burdens, trust God completely, and experience the freedom that comes with it. This is a message of hope and freedom you won't want to miss. Welcome to our channel. If you're ready to live with less worry and more peace, don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey. Before we talk about how to let go of your worries, it's important to understand the true cost of holding on to them. Worry is not just a mental or emotional burden. It impacts every part of your life. When we worry, our minds become clouded, filled with anxious thoughts that refuse to let us rest. It's as if the weight of every possible outcome hangs over us, stealing our peace and making even simple tasks seem unbearable. This constant state of worry can take a serious toll on our emotional health. It feeds feelings of fear, doubt, and insecurity, preventing us from living in the present moment. And it's not just about how we feel, it affects how we act. We may become irritable, withdrawn, or anxious around others, all because we're consumed by what might happen tomorrow, next week, or even years from now. But the damage doesn't stop there. Worry also manifests in our physical health. Studies have shown that chronic stress and anxiety can lead to serious issues like heart disease, high blood pressure, and weakened immune systems. The body, much like the mind, cannot stay in a constant state of tension without suffering. This is why worrying isn't just a harmless habit. It's a threat to both our mental and physical well-being. C.H. Spurgeon understood this better than anyone. He wrote, "The way to peace is not found in circumstances, but in surrendering to God." This is a truth we often forget when we find ourselves drowning in worry. We believe that peace will come when our circumstances change, when our problems are solved, or when life becomes easier. But Spurgeon teaches us that true peace comes when we stop trying to control everything and place our trust fully in God. When we surrender our worries to Him, we start to experience the peace that comes from knowing He is in control, and we don't have to carry those burdens alone. Before we talk about how to let go of our worries, we need to understand what it really means to trust God fully with them. Trusting God is not just about believing He exists. It's about placing our entire lives in His hands, including our fears, doubts, and anxieties. It's about recognizing that He is sovereign, that He holds the power over every detail of our lives, even the things we worry most about. To trust God means to let go of the need to control every outcome. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking we have to have everything figured out, that our worries must be solved through our own effort. But true trust in God's sovereignty means acknowledging that He is in control even when we can't see how things will work out. We surrender our plans, our struggles, and our uncertainties to Him, knowing that He has a purpose in everything, even the difficult moments. Faith plays a crucial role in this process. When we have faith in God, we believe not just in His power, but also in His love and wisdom. Faith allows us to rest in the truth that God knows what is best for us, even when it doesn't make sense to us. It frees us from the constant cycle of anxiety because we begin to trust that He will provide for our needs, guide us through challenges, and protect us from harm. End quote. C.H. Spurgeon often spoke about the comfort found in knowing that God is in control of all things, even the things we worry about. He said, God is too good to be unkind, and He is too wise to be mistaken. Spurgeon's words remind us that when we trust in God's sovereignty, we are trusting in a perfect plan, even if it doesn't unfold the way we expect. And this trust doesn't mean that life will be without difficulties. But when we truly believe that God is in control, it takes away the burden of trying to carry it all ourselves. It reminds us that we can rest, knowing that our Heavenly Father has a good plan for us, even in the midst of uncertainty. Before we talk about how to truly experience peace, we need to recognize one important truth. The illusion of control only adds to our worries. We live in a world that encourages us to plan every detail, to anticipate every possibility, and to always be in charge. But the reality is that no matter how hard we try, we cannot control every outcome. And the more we try to control things beyond our grasp, the more anxiety we create for ourselves. When we hold on tightly to our need for control, we're essentially carrying a burden that we were never meant to bear. We start to believe that everything depends on us, that if we don't manage every detail, things will fall apart. But the truth is, this belief only makes us more stressed and exhausted. It's like trying to hold on to something slippery. The tighter we grip, the more it slips away. Spurgeon once said, "The greatest blessing in the world is to be brought into a state of perfect surrender to God." This statement is powerful because it challenges our natural instinct to control everything. Spurgeon knew that peace doesn't come from holding tightly to our own will, but from letting go and allowing God's wisdom to guide us. When we surrender our need for control, we open ourselves to the peace that comes from trusting in God's greater wisdom. Letting go of control doesn't mean we stop making decisions or living purposefully. It means we stop obsessing over the outcomes. It means we trust that God knows what is best for us even when things don't go as planned. By releasing our need for control, we allow space for God's perfect will to unfold in our lives. And in that surrender, we find the inner peace we've been seeking all along. Before we talk about how to surrender our worries, let's explore some simple yet powerful ways to give them to God. One of the most effective tools we have is prayer. When we pray, we are not just speaking to God. We are also releasing our burdens into His hands. Prayer is a direct line to God where we can openly share our fears, our struggles, and our desires. Through prayer, we invite God into the situation, trusting that He hears us and will act according to His perfect will. Meditation is another way we can surrender our worries to God. It's not about emptying our minds, but about focusing on God's promises and His presence. By meditating on His word, we remind ourselves of His faithfulness and sovereignty. This practice helps us shift our attention from our problems to God's power and goodness. It calms the mind and allows peace to settle in our hearts, replacing the worry that once filled us. So, trust is also a vital part of surrendering our worries. It's easy to say we trust God, but true trust is shown when we let go of our need to control every outcome. Trust means accepting that God's plan for us is always better than our own. It means letting go of fear and embracing faith even when things seem uncertain. When we trust God fully, we free ourselves from the weight of anxiety and allow His peace to take its place. One key way to incorporate all of this into our daily lives is through regular communication with God. Make it a habit to speak to Him, not just in moments of crisis, but throughout your day. The more we communicate with God, the easier it becomes to release our worries. It strengthens our faith and helps us recognize his guidance in every area of our lives. There's also a shift in mindset that can make a huge difference, choosing faith over fear. Fear often drives us to hold on to our worries, believing that if we don't, something terrible will happen. But faith tells us that God is with us, that he will provide, and that he is in control. Every time we choose faith over fear, we make the decision to surrender our anxieties to God and trust in his plan for us. Before we talk about the peace that comes from God, we need to understand what it truly means. There is a kind of peace that the world cannot offer, one that surpasses all understanding. It's a peace that doesn't depend on our circumstances or the solutions to our problems. This peace is a gift from God, and it comes when we choose to trust him with every worry and fear. C.H. Spurgeon spoke often of this peace, describing it as a tranquility that only God can provide, a peace that calms the storms in our hearts, no matter what's happening around us. When we trust God fully, something incredible happens in our minds. The weight of constant worry begins to lift. We no longer feel enslaved by the what-ifs or the worst-case scenarios that once dominated our thoughts. Instead, we experience a freedom that comes from knowing God is in control. Trusting him liberates us from the need to constantly analyze, predict, or control every situation. We can finally rest, knowing that he holds our future, and we do not have to carry the burden alone. Spurgeon described this peace beautifully when he said, "The peace of God is not found in the absence of trouble, but in the presence of God." This quote reminds us that peace does not come from our circumstances changing, but from the deep assurance that God is with us, guiding us through every moment. When we surrender our worries to him, when we open ourselves to the peace that only his presence can bring, this peace frees us from the restless anxiety that keeps us up at night and allows us to live with a sense of calm and trust, knowing that no matter what we face, we are never alone. In conclusion, we've seen that worry is a heavy burden, one that weighs down our hearts and minds, but when we trust in God, we can experience a peace that goes beyond our understanding. By surrendering our worries to him, we free ourselves from anxiety and embrace the freedom that comes from knowing he is in control. Trusting God's plan for our lives brings peace, no matter the circumstances. Freedom brings peace, no matter the circumstances. If you're ready to let go of your worries and trust God's perfect plan for you, start today. Take that first step in surrendering your fears and letting his peace fill your heart. If you found this video helpful, please like it and subscribe to our channel for more content that can help you live with less worry and more peace.